Because after figuring out that those trucks meant they were about to be turned into a KFC family bucket, the emus started leaving scout birds who would warn the flock of the approaching trucks, which gave them...
Nature's incredible, guys. Nature is incredible. This is awesome. Hello, YouTube. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you're new here, hi, my name's Link. I am a Lunar Fox VTuber who typically plays a little bit too much Overwatch, but today we're gonna watch some more MoreParz. If you are interested in watching some videos with us, we're always live on twitch.tv/Link with 2 eyes, not 1 eye. All right, let's get into it.
Stepping on this rock could straight up paralyze you. That's because this isn't actually a rock. That is a stonefish, a species of underwater menace native to Australia. And coming as a surprise to absolutely no one, it is also the most venomous fish in the ocean. Because of course it is.
He's a
as if the f***ing snakes and spiders weren't enough, now I can get packed up by a pet rock. But why is this Pokemon reject such a threat to my mental health? Well, you see, stonefish use their special venom for defense. However, unlike most other animals that do...
They would have venom. A venomum. Tay, no, why not? I want a pet rockfish. I can have a pet rock. Why can't I have a pet rockfish? I don't understand.
This little f***er doesn't have the decency to dress like a neon sign to warn you. No. This bastard is a 6th prestige prop hunt veteran, having evolved some of the most impressive camouflage in the animal kingdom to make hunting easier. And once they've set themselves up, they are basically indistinguishable from Patrick Starr's house. Now, this is a fairly major problem as they love to live in the shallows on the beach, and that venom we talked about earlier is stored in these 13 giant, highly toxic spines that deliver venom when pressed on.
Easy to step on. I see. That's not going to keep me from going to the beach, though.
You probably see where I'm going with this. Considering it's hard enough to spot these things while you're paying attention, if you were, say, on a romantic walk along the beach with one of the homies, and while distracted by his ethereal beauty, weren't paying too much attention to where you were walking, it would be very easy to place your foot in the wrong spot and step directly onto 13 hypodermic needles, which would then deliver a ginormous dose of neurotoxin straight into your system. Oh, you thought it was normal venom? No. You see, these things maxed out the toxin skill tree, producing a mixture of 2 neurotoxins that can flatline you by collapsing your heart and lungs in under an hour. And even if you survive, the sting still causes extreme pain, swelling, and tissue necrosis. Because this is Australia, where even the scenery is trying to one-shot me.
The way I want to Google that, but I know I shouldn't. The way I want to Google it, but I'm not going to.
Australia lost a war to emus.
Of course they did.
But how? How the did we lose an armed conflict with flightless birds? Well, it all
I could see it. Emus are pretty crazy.
Started in 1932 when farmers in Western Australia wanted to grow wheat. There was just one major problem. That's emu territory, and emus really like wheat. And coming in at 6 foot tall and
but they're so cute. Look at them.
40 kilos in weight, they can eat a lot of it. So when breeding season came around, the emus migrated through the farmland, and these poor farmers were overwhelmed by a tyrannid swarm of man-sized poultry, 20,000 emus strong. These feathered tanks then proceeded to completely steamroll through the fences into the fields and started laying waste to the wheat. The farmers attempted to fight back the initial wave with rifle fire, but their efforts were, putting it lightly, completely useless. This ginormous...
Were they stormtroopers? Missing every shot?
Hell made the farmers pretty bloody angry, so they gathered together and went to the government to ask for help. Sir?
That's crazy. They gotta... Mr. President, we are having problems with the emus out in the Wild Wild West. Could you help us? Ooh, thank you.
2,000 emus have hit the wheat fields. My mate. And so the government declared the emus enemies of the state and sent in the army to commence the Great Emu War. The entire 7th Heavy Artillery Division was deployed to WA, armed with 2 LMGs, 10,000 rounds, and the sole objective to blast anything with feathers. A little bit excessive for an overgrown turkey if you ask me, and upon their first deployment, the army immediately ran into a major problem. Emus are fast. I am speed.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
Really fast, clocking a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, which meant
Lord, he
that once
coming.
they opened fire, the emus would immediately bolt out of range of their
That's
weapons.
awesome.
But they still took a crack at it, and then immediately stopped when both LMGs jammed after only dropping 12 emus. This embarrassment
Damn.
led the army to retreat and rethink their plan. So a few
Nuke it all. That's the only option. Nuke it.
weeks later they returned, this time mounting the LMGs on trucks in an attempt to run the birds down. However, this also didn't work, because after figuring out that those trucks meant they were about to be turned into a KFC family bucket, the emus started leaving scout birds who would warn the flock of the approaching trucks, which gave them
Nature's incredible, guys. Nature is incredible. This is awesome.
all enough time to book it before the army even got there. And whenever they did catch the emus, they found out they were kind of... Because emus are mostly feathers, and there's a lot of places you can hit on them without doing any damage.
That's
meaning
so
it was
cool.
taking around 10 bullets for every one bird. So after a month of blood, sweat, tears, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, the army managed to bring down 960. The population...
You know, this was taxpayer money, right? This was taxpayer money. Well spent, in my opinion. Well wasted.
was 20,000. This was an issue as
There was 20,000 emus, and they didn't even kill 1,000 of them.
Unlike America, our defense budget is not a bottomless pit.
That's fair.
So the army had wasted all that money to achieve absolutely fuck all. So the government just kind of built a really long, really shit fence around the farms and called it a day. How the fuck did we lose this? I could have done a better job with a boomerang and a cricket bat. Australia lost a war to emu. This snake can take your arm off.
'Tis but a scratch. Scratch? Your arm's off.
Introducing the fer-de-lance, a species of pit viper native to South America and Mexico. With this particular note, bro,
Looks cool.
having quite possibly one of the nastiest fucking bites in the world.
Noted. Noted.
This is a fairly major problem because this little has the temperament of an eshay at a train station, being incredibly aggressive and extremely territorial.
Both of you's giving me your wallets and your shoes, bar, otherwise I'll tell you anything right here, right now, bar.
In fact,
You shouldn't have stepped in his territory, man.
this toxic garden hose is such an aggressive little
garden
within its range, it makes up an average of 50% of all snake bites. However, despite the huge number of attacks,
That's a lot of 'em.
it's only fatal in 6% of bites.
Well,
So why is it such a problem?
Okay-ish.
Just because you live the bite doesn't mean you'll want to. You see, when a fer-de-lance bites you, this
Was it the bite of 87?
massive viper sinks
That's
its
about how tall I am. Like maybe an inch off, but like that's about how tall I am.
huge inch-long fangs into your skin and injects you with 2 teaspoons of
God.
venom. You will at this point notice a
Did you see how it was moving? It was moving in different directions. His teeth had had minds of their own.
status effect
That
bar
was
appear on the
crazy.
bottom of your screen. Don't worry about that. That's a mystery mouse tool that'll hurt us later. Upon being bitten, your blood pressure immediately crashes lower than the stock market and you start to feel very ill. The bite wound feels like you've been shot in
great.
the f***ing leg, you start sweating like someone's looking through your browser history, and then you start puking your guts up. Shortly followed by your collapse into the ground in agony.
Bad day.
Now,
Not
fer-de-lance
Leon.
venom is hemorrhagic, so while you're having a frat boy moment on the ground, the venom is breaking down the walls of your blood vessels, causing massive internal bleeding. At the same time, it's seeping into your bloodstream, causing it to thicken and start throwing clots. But hey, you're in luck. You were the buddy when you got bitten. They rush you to the hospital, and because it's such a common snake bite,
That just sounds agonizing, dude. No thanks.
they have the anti-venom on hand and administer it immediately, counteracting the venom's effects. There is just one problem. The
Oh, no.
mystery mouse tool is still there, because anti-venom is not necromancy. So, all the dead tissue around the bite caused by the blood clots and internal bleeding, still very dead. In fact, it's so dead that it is rotting on your still alive body
That's
in a process
crazy.
called necrosis. I can't show you a photo of necrosis because it's genuinely disgusting, but to put it in a term you can understand, the snake applies scarlet rot.
All right, let me take a note to look up this one as well as the last thing. Okay.
Now, so long as that rot's still attached to you, it's gonna spread. So, there's only one way to stop it. Cut it off.
That sounds terrible.
This snake can
That
take
sounds
your arm
awful.
off.
That's so rough.
This...